Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today is the fifth and final NFL MVP video. I've been doing this once every 3 weeks on the channel to see when different things change throughout the league. And this is the final NFL MVP predictions video I am going to be doing for the NFL season. I think that the MVP race is pretty much down to 2 players right now, but I have 4 in contention right here. And I do think it'll be a very interesting end to the season to see who ends up getting it. So the major criteria for the MVP is you need to be your team needs to have a good record. You need to be at the top in your position. And your position needs to be valuable enough on your team that you actually make a difference, and you are one of the reasons why they have the record that they have. That's the major evaluative criteria. There's a lot more intricate things that the people that actually decide on the MVP look into and talk about. But from a blanket standpoint, that's basically what they're looking for. Before we get into the video, only about 15% of you are subscribed. So if you enjoy my content and you want to see more content like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free and you can always unsubscribe. So with that, let's get into the video. So first on the list is TJ Watt. The Steelers last night just lost to the Bengals 27-17, and their offense this season has not been impressive at all. The defense, much like in the Dolphins team, is what has been carrying the Steelers through this season. The defense is what kept them 11-0. Their offense just can't get a lot going on especially with Ben Roethlisberger throwing only 6 yards per attempt on the season. He's a good quarterback, but he hasn't had the most phenomenal season that he could have had. And this defense, led by TJ Watt and his incredible stat line, are what's been fueling this team. TJ Watt has 50 total tackles, 40 solo, 10 assists, 24 tackles for a loss, 13 sacks, and 89 sack yards, as well as a forced fumble, a pick, and 7 passes defended. TJ Watt does it all. He doesn't have that many turnovers, but he's leading the league in sacks, and he has 7 passes defended, which is very good for a linebacker. He has one of the most passes defended of any. He has the most of anyone over 3 sacks in the league. As for projections, I have him having 29 tackles for a loss, 16 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a pick, 10 passes defended, and 60 total tackles. The only thing holding him back is the Steelers' losing streak. Right now they're on a 3-game losing streak. They went from 11-0 to 11-3. And if they continue to lose, if they lose to the Colts or if they lose to the Browns or both and end up 12-4 or 11-5, his MVP chances are basically gone. If the Steelers end 13-3, then he has a chance, but if they end anywhere lower than that, then I think TJ Watt will have issues trying to get the NFL MVP. Josh Allen at number 4. So Josh Allen this season, as the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, has 351 of his thrown 351 of 511 for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 9 picks, and a quarterback rating of 104.2. He has 96 carries for 383 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's number 3 in the league for yards per game as a quarterback, and he's number 6 in the league for passing touchdowns. He is number 2, although for total touchdowns, with Rodgers being at 43 and Mahomes and Allen being at 38. The Bills' record is 11-3. Much of it is credited to Allen and the way that he's conducted this offense, as the Bills' defense is not great, and that's one of the things that benefits him in this situation. The Packers have a good defense. The Chiefs have a decent defense. The Bills don't have a very good defense, and they had a good defense last year, but this year the defense has taken a step back, and their team in total has done better because of the way that he's conducted this offense. He's projected to have 4,600 yards, a quarterback rating of 105, 36 touchdowns, 10 picks, 110 carries for 425 yards, and 10 touchdowns. This is an MVP stat line depending on the season, but this year, with all the competition, he might not be able to get it. Only thing holding him back is his passing statistics and his chance, and his chance is around a 15% chance. If he had better passing statistics, but passing and rushing aren't always quantified the same way when talking about statistics and MVP and things like that. So because his passing statistics are lower than Mahomes and Rodgers, it hurts him. Coming in at number 3, we have Derrick Henry. And the reason why I have Derrick Henry at 15.01% is because I think that him and Josh Allen have about the same chance, but I just want Derrick Henry in third. Derrick Henry on the season has 321 carries for 1,679 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 19 catches for 114 yards. His team's record is 10-4, and he leads running back in yards per game and touchdowns. He's projected to have 370 carries for 2,000 yards, 23 catches for 140, and 18 total rushing touchdowns. He might get a receiving touchdown, but he currently has 0. What's holding him back is he's not a receiving back and he's not a quarterback. If he caught footballs out of the backfield more, then he would have a chance at getting the MVP. But on his rushing statistics alone, he needs at least the 2,000-yard threshold. And if he doesn't get that, then he doesn't have the touchdowns to back it up. The last 3 times that a running back has won the MVP, they either had 2,000 yards or they had over 25 touchdowns. None of them had both, but none of them had none of them. So Derrick Henry needs to get at least 2,000 yards if he wants a chance at the MVP. But other than that, his statistics are better than Adrian Peterson's in 2012. And the way that the quarterback race is looking right now, that race is looking similar than how it did about 8 years ago when Adrian Peterson won it, because the quarterbacks, there's a lot of good quarterbacks up at the top of the league. And when you have a lot of quarterbacks up at the top of the league, then their skills are very valuable, but they seem a little less valuable. And the running backs running backs like Derrick Henry that can carry their team through the season look more valuable than they used to. At number 2, we have Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is 336 of 544 for 4,462 yards, 36 touchdowns, 5 picks, and a quarterback rating of 110.6. He has 59 carries on the ground for 287 yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as he's number 1 in yards and number 3 in passing touchdowns. He has a quarterback record of 13-1, and his projections for the rest of the season are around 5,100 yards, a rating of 110, 41 touchdowns, 6 picks, 70 carries for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. The only thing holding him back is his offensive talent. The Chiefs are stacked on offense. They have so many good players. They have Tyreek Hill, they have Sammy Watkins, they have Mecole Hardman, they have Travis Kelce, they have the Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Their offense is stacked. It's just getting better. And Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he's a big piece of their offense. He holds the glue together. But is he the most valuable player in the league? I think this team would still be a playoff team without him. Regardless, he is still a very valuable player to this team, and that's why he has a very strong chance at the MVP. I give him about a 30% chance of getting the MVP because he's had a phenomenal season. He has had a phenomenal season. But I think that without the touchdowns, he might have 5,000 yards, but without leading in touchdowns, and I think that, in my personal opinion, Aaron Rodgers is the number 1 candidate. Aaron Rodgers currently is 332 of 477 for 3,828 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 4 picks. He has a quarterback rating of 118.0. He has 34 carries on the ground for 126 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also has he's number 1 in touchdowns and number 7 in yards per game. His quarterback record is 11-3, and he's projected to have 4,400 yards, a quarterback rating of 119, 46 touchdowns, 4 picks, 40 carries for 140 yards and 4 touchdowns. There's a lot of 4s in that. I think that Aaron Rodgers is the number 1 MVP candidate. For his wide receiver position, especially at the beginning of the season, there was a revolving door there. Davante Adams was out for a few weeks, and a couple of the other players on the team got injured and still haven't returned. Davante Adams is an amazing player. He's been very consistent this year. But the rest of the wide receivers on the Packers have not been consistent, and Aaron Jones hasn't even been a consistent factor in the Packers' offense. The fact of the matter is that the Packers and the Chiefs both have fantastic offenses surrounding their quarterbacks, but Patrick Mahomes doesn't deal with the same type of injuries that Aaron Rodgers has on his side of the field. And I think that's a major, major setback for Patrick Mahomes for the MVP, and I would pick Aaron Rodgers. I know his record's going to be a little bit lower, but he's done a fantastic job this season with that team.